What's up, everybody? We're back. Got another stream going today. It's your boy, the Show Bullet 8. Today, we are going to be taking a look at a video, a couple of videos, actually. One of them is really short. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched the longer one either. But what's funny is I saw something, and I'll kind of talk about it, as we're watching the videos or whatever. But it is on the most racist, I guess the most racist town in America, supposedly. And the video that we're going to be watching primarily is by a guy named Chillin. I don't know if you guys have ever seen any of his content. What I know of Chillin, it's crazy, is about the situation that happened between him and I believe it was, what's her name, Pokimane, which, I guess her whole group, essentially, or her followers and things like that, were attempting to get him canceled over really nothing. I mean, she had her little issues or whatever with him. He had her issues with her, but of course, her whole squad went after him, and Twitch complied. Ended up, banning his account for a couple of weeks or something like that, giving him a suspension, so to speak. But beyond that, today is Mexican Mother's Day. If you guys don't know, Mexican Mother's Day is celebrated on the 10th. So first and foremost, let me go ahead and say Feliz de la, oh God, I can't even speak right now. Feliz Dia de la Madre Mexicana, all right? So it's celebrated on the 10th of May every year. So to all the moms out there that are Mexican, hey, happy Mother's Day to you all. It's celebrated on the 10th, unlike North American Mother's Day and things like that, which is always celebrated on the second Sunday of May. Mexican Mother's Day is always on the 10th. So yeah, there's a story behind that. Not going to get too much into it, but what we are going to go ahead and do is get switched over and watch these videos, because I want to see really what this is all about. The place that I think of when this comes up, I believe, is in North Dakota or something like that. And I don't think that this is the same place. In fact, Kieran, it's something, God, I want to say it's like Leon or something like that, North Dakota, Leith, North Dakota. So years ago, this was probably a good 6 or so years ago. You know what? Let's get switched over while I'm sitting here talking about this. So about 6 years ago in Leith, North Dakota, there was a situation where there was a guy who was buying up all sorts of land, and he was a white supremacist. And during that point in time, what he was doing was he was buying up all these homes and land and everything else, and having other white supremacists move into this town. So it became this whole huge battle between the town and these individuals who were white supremacists who were moving in, where, I mean, people were buying guns, feeling so unsafe. And these weren't, just African-American individuals, anything like that. It was other Caucasian families and things. They were buying guns because they didn't feel safe about the situation. Now, of course, at the same time, there's nothing you can do about someone buying land and, you know, letting someone move into it or anything else for that matter. But considering the motives behind it, I guess there was legal battles that went back and forth constantly. I know that there was a documentary that was done on it. In this case, okay, so there it is, right? Harrison, Arkansas. Ku Klux Klan headquarters. All right, so the first video, this one looks like it's 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into this. After we watch this one, we're gonna watch the one that Chillin does as well to see. And that right there, if this is the case, that's kind of a ballsy move for him to go ahead and go here. But I get it. I get it. So yeah, let me go ahead and turn the music down somewhat. Hopefully all the volumes are okay. Let me know if I need to change anything for any reason, whether it's my voice or videos or anything like that. And here we go, hopping into it.
Have a little pride in the race, brother. What pride worldwide? I wouldn't say after dark, man.
Honestly, dude, you have balls of steel because you could get hospitalized by some guys that want to beat your ass.
I've had several old men come out here, look out the window and tell me, says, you better go tell that nigger to get out of here.
Well, so wait a minute. Unexpected. So this is a white dude who's out here, and this is the reaction they're giving to him. Which, okay, all right. Let's keep it going. Round one.
About 10 minutes, I'm gonna be back. You better be fucking gone.
Okay, come back.
So he came back.
We matter too. You're a white man. Crazy.
You're a dumbass.
Holy shit. Oh damn. They hitting him with everything. Here's what's crazy. People make that you know, that they try to make that a huge white people matter too. And my thing is, I don't believe that during the time of the BLM, you know, this is fucking crazy right now. Unbelievable. I don't think that during that time where it was going so prevalent, Black Lives Matter and everything else, and still, you know, it's still to this day going on. It wasn't about saying that others did not matter. It was about saying, hey, guess what? For all of this fuckery that's going on, all of these different things that are injustices that we're seeing, you know, so on and so forth. Well, we matter in this world just the same as a white individual or any other individual for that matter. It was never to demean another ethnicity, I don't think, by any means. This is crazy. I mean, wow.
Motherfucker, you dumb shit.
Are you
All lives matter, you racist motherfucker. So a white guy standing out with the sign that says Black Lives Matter. I guess what it had to be emphasized to put 2 on there at the end, TOO. Black Lives Matter 2, Black Lives Matter also as well. I mean, I guess for some, the emphasis was necessary. Jesus.
Marxist?
Communist, domestic terrorist.
Why don't you take it to Chicago or New York and hold it up where they're shooting each other?
Explain to me why, coon.
Oh, fuck. So we went from her dumbass where they're shooting each other. Go to New York or Chicago or somewhere where they're shooting each other. To this idiot here. I'm gonna say a ton about this. We're just trying to get through both of these videos.
Real fucking job. Find Jesus. Get your ass out of town. That shit don't make.
Okay, the Find Jesus situation thing kind of fucks with me Because first and foremost, what? Jesus, biblically speaking, died for everyone's sins. All right, if we have to go the biblical route, died for everyone's sins, not just white folks. Now, let's also mind you where Jesus was from. Okay, I know people want to go back and forth with the whole thing. The bottom line to it is, where was he from? A nation, a city-state in, drum roll, Africa. Now, no one knows what Jesus actually looked like, but we can assume, based on what is said about him, hair like sheep's wool, amongst other things, bronzed skin, etc., etc., I'm going to have to go with he looked somewhere along the lines like, oh, possibly me. I'm a shit ton lighter. I mean, as we can all see, I'm double shaded, and of multiple nationalities, whatever, doesn't matter. We hold the same, we hold the same genetics somewhere along the lines, okay? This is fucking crazy. And to be able to be as ridiculous as some of these people are, as ignorant as some of these people are, and then to throw it out there, you need to find Jesus.
Hey, all lives matter, not just black.
Another one.
You're a Caucasian.
You're white.
You look like a white guy holding a black lives matter sign. What's the deal with that? Not your shame.
You look like a white guy. You can't tell that it's a white guy holding the black. He could be albino, something along the lines of that. Okay, I'll give him that. But then, as the conversation we had a few nights ago, one of the guys in stream actually broke it down, like looking into it. 7% of the world can actually claim themselves to be 100% Caucasian. And there's my phone because it just doesn't stop. And of that 7%, only 2% of the US's population could actually say that they are 100% Caucasian. That's 2% out of 314 million people. Now, granted, you have to take out the other ethnicities that are within that number as well, whether they be African American or Hispanic or Latin of some descent, or Asian, things of that nature. But 2%. That means that out of whatever number of people we see right now driving through this town, they are somewhere along the lines, they have some other ethnicity mixed into what they assume is 100% white. Okay, you know what? The music might have to go on this right now. Let's go back to this. Holy hell.
You're a white boy carrying that stupid sign.
You're white, aren't you? Oh, boy. Hey, lady, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Hey, you said something too?
Yes, sir.
I am good.
Because I'm tired of seeing this right here is the biggest hoax there ever was.
It's just the next thing to ice.
It is.
Holy shit. Ignorance is fucking crazy.
Yeah, black lives do matter, but what about ours, man?
No one's
Apparently
saying they
black
don't.
people's lives matter more than us.
Apparently.
You know, the Irish have...
The nigger's gonna kill you too. Black lives don't matter with the food.
Fuck black lives. You know?
Man.
Hey, Mike.
And I have black friends. And I have black friends. Yo, she said, fuck black lives, and I have black friends. You are not their friend. And if they saw this, which I believe there was like 11 million people who saw this, I'm gonna have to say they probably don't want to be your fucking friend now. Like, wow.
Day going. Walmart, they put out this statement.
Advancing our work on racial equality, Black Lives Matter. It is all our responsibilities to embrace that fact in what we say and what we do. There's no way to live our lives if we don't.
I would ask you to leave. Exactly what I'm saying is exactly what they would ask me to do.
Ignore the haters. You're being peaceful. What you're doing is good. Just a friendly reminder. Don't give up hope. Definitely had to blur their face out. They live in that town. That would have been a real problem. Whoa, man. Whoa. Okay, so we are going to go on to the next one. On that one, it's one of those things where, and I guess we're going to kind of see as far as what I'm about to say right now. It makes me wonder if it were a Black person that was standing there at that moment, would that number of people actually have said anything? Would it have been a situation where most of them would have shut the fuck up and kept driving by? Maybe a few of them made some kind of a comment. The possibility is that something worse could have possibly happened. But then there's also that possibility, and I've seen this myself in life, to where without a large mob mentality, people tend to, keep their ignorance to themselves. In that situation, they felt very free and open to do so because it was another Caucasian individual. So I wonder, there's a lot that can go into that, but let's go ahead and watch this video. That's kind of fucking ridiculous, man, and disgusting. And I mean, look at this. This is that town, and the other guy was standing in front of a sign like this as well. It's not racist to love people. WhitePrideRadio.com. Ozark. So it's not racist to love people. Okay. I'll get into my thought on what this may mean and when people say that whole white pride thing in a little bit.
I've had several old men come by here. You better go tell that nigger.
Oh, no. Hold on. That song has to go. Hold up. Wait a minute.
America, but like what have you seen here that you would like deem maybe racist?
Out in Zeke, which is
Okay, here we go. Let's go to the beginning.
As you guys can honestly tell, we're not from here.
That's all right.
I'm from Atlanta, I'm one of the best rappers coming out of there and everything like that. We've heard rumors that this is the most racist town in America, but so far, I'm not gonna lie, it's been like one of the nicest places.
Do you guys want to table or
Actually, let's go with booth. My booty's kind of hurting, so I need more cushioning.
Yeah, I need some cushion. That's all right.
But I'm not gonna lie, they're not really like fitting our narrative.
You're like, man, this is the coolest town in America.
Hey, can I ask you a question? How long have you lived here?
16 years.
16 years. And like, how do you like it?
So they haven't run into a single thing. Not a single thing. Okay.
They said that this place was like the most racist town in America, but like what have you seen here
She
that
said,
you
yeah.
would like deem maybe racist?
Out in Zeke, which is probably like a 20-minute drive. The leader of the Ku Klux Klan or whatever lives out there.
So this isn't the racist town, Zinc.
We have people, of course, but you're gonna find that everywhere.
True.
From all places, why here?
Bro, I mean, everybody's saying that this is the most like racist town in America.
Supposedly it is.
But it's been like chill. Like
It is chill. I love it here, actually.
This is not made up. The KKK keeps neighbors with their fucking leader.
Yeah.
Really? Damn, you think they would like beat my ass if I like showed up?
Honestly?
Nah, they don't.
I don't know.
Like,
Whoa.
So he's the current leader.
Yeah.
And he's cool people.
I met him. He's pretty cool, but
This is the man we need to find, y'all. Guys, when I tell you, we came to this town with no preparation. We just came here.
It like I was saying a minute ago, you really have to wonder. I think it's a very hugely mental situation that comes into play when individuals who hold that form of hatred or ignorance towards someone ends up dealing with them. Very few and far in between will you see someone just come out and be downright nasty with it. Because I think that on some level in their head, if they're alone, they're putting themselves in a situation where they don't know what could happen. So whatever ideals they have, they will shut the fuck up about them, for lack of a better way of saying it. To have the audacity, and I mean, a lot of those individuals, they play a role when they're on TV, or when they're doing their little podcasts, or when they're at a rally and things like that. Because in those places, on some level, they feel safer because of the numbers that they have surrounding them.
Expecting racism to come to us, but we're gonna have to go to racism.
Should I just bait people?
You have to go to racism.
Black guy over there. And then you just come up all friendly.
Hey guys.
That'd be so mean.
That would.
Don't do that.
Bro, he might have connections to white pride.
I want to see it when they get out there.
We gotta kick some bars up.
Yeah.
I want more people to just get out of the hood in general.
All right, boys, man. So now,
here we go.
knows Tom Robb. I need to talk to him. We got some business to handle. I don't like racism. Excuse me, man. Do you know Tom Robb by any chance?
No, I do not.
You don't? Do you guys know who Tom Robb is?
Sir, we don't have time for this.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This is
I
what
don't have time
journalism
for
is.
this.
You have to find the
They
scoop.
definitely know.
By any chance, you know anybody that lives in Zinc? You don't? Trying to have an interview with the leader of the KKK, Tom Robb. It's looking more and more like we just have to go out there. Attention, patrons of Walmart.
go to
I'm trying to
Walmart.
conduct an interview with Tom Robb. Does anybody know Tom Robb by any chance? Raise your hand if you might know Tom Robb. No? Do you guys know Tom Robb? Fudge.
Are you Gideon?
Yeah. How you doing?
They know who he is.
Walk with me.
Yes, sir.
Walk with
I
me.
grew up with both of his sons.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't use my name. You know how gangs are?
Yeah.
Like if you call somebody out
Mm-hmm.
in your own hometown,
Yeah.
not good for business. But what do you want them to know?
Oh no, we're not trying to know anything. Like we just.
Oh, he compared it to gangs being on somebody else's turf, and okay, all right.
Like me personally,
He won't give you the name.
you don't think he will?
Brother, I could.
Hey, what's going on, Sniper? Not in the best mood right now. What's going on? I'm doing all right, man. I'm just like, I'm kind of chill, watching this video right here and kind of give my opinion on this situation, because this is crazy. But no, let me know what's up in chat. I'm trying to get through this.
To tell you some story. How we used to have to cut the tails off black people. When they was
What? What?
Stuff like that.
So do they have a lot of pull in this area?
That's what we call backwoods pool. You see, right now, me doing this, I'm a sellout. Man, to the hill folk. To the people.
I'm a sellout to the hill folk.
You see what I'm saying?
He's losing his pool. So people are getting educated. Okay, and that's one of those situations where, as towns grow and new individuals come in and people are more educated or have been around others, or are more open to understanding and things like that, it starts to kind of take the pull away from leaders of this type. Now, you will always have your extreme individuals who just won't give a damn and will even go against whatever, the leader or top individual has to say or what they want to do in these situations. Vids got hacked on what? What do you get hacked on?
Educated. And they're also starting to step out for once.
I've been around here like, but I've been seeing nothing but nice people.
The only reason I come up is you got balls.
Oh, for asking that?
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude.
He got balls.
I'm not going there to change his mind. Like he grew up believing what he believes.
So they have a church. And if you read your Bible, he was created by God shaping him out of clay and breathing breath Them hands on the strings.
Yes, sir.
That's the white man. You are considered a beast. No different than a
But that's what's so crazy. Like biblically, man as a whole, and that's the problem. That is one of the greater problems with the way that people take on religion. They think that it's this grand calling to them and them alone, to their ethnicity, to who they are as a being versus the whole. Religion did not dictate only the white man or only the black man and all of these other things. That was not what was dictated by religion. And again, it goes back to the whole Jesus comment that the person made. I'm like, are you ignorant? Where was Jesus from? Frickin' Africa. How was he expressed in damn near any Bible that you read? Bronze skin, hair like sheep's wool. If that's not an Afro, who made that joke? Chris, I think was it Chris Rock or something like that? If that's not an Afro, I don't know what the fuck is. But it's one of those situations where this is why, when it comes to psychology and criminal psychology and things like that and profilers, what they always end up looking at a great deal of times is the person's home life and background and their religious belief, understandings, or misunderstandings of. It is a huge component to how people act and react in this world. Your clips, damn. Holy shit.
So they preached that like we were.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What's good,
And that's
man?
the
Y'all
type
watch the
that they
vids?
would actually
Yes, bro.
Appreciate y'all boys,
Sure.
man. Appreciate y'all boys.
Am I still here talking like some superstar and don't even damn know it?
You don't know him?
No.
I do YouTube.
Do you know how to get there? I ain't gonna send you because I'm afraid you get hurt.
Oh man, I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty charismatic guy. Be like, hey guys.
His face.
Man, what's good with y'all boys?
This is
man?
crazy, bro.
How long y'all been
He's like,
living
I'm
out
sitting
here,
in
bro?
soup talking to a
Trying
superstar.
to have it, bro. Like, I feel like we ruffled some feathers already. All right, y'all. After a little bit of searching and everything and a little bit of driving, we found it. The infamous sign, whitepriderradio.com. It can't be racist because they have a puppy on it. So like, that's some good reverse psychology.
It's a brown puppy.
Tom Rob's son right there.
Yeah.
So like, what
Jason
even
Rob.
is White Pride Radio? You're tuning into White Pride Radio. White is right.
Come on. You're not gonna sit here and watch this whole
White
thing.
Pride Radio. I'm not white. Yeah.
He didn't say a word. Like no cap. And he went to the house and he got Tom. And we was like, would you have time for a meeting? And Tom was like, I don't got time. He's like, what we talking about? He was like, not because he's African American or nothing like that. Like he said that.
At least he's not racist.
Yeah, he said something like that.
He said
like,
not because
maybe
he's
next
a.
week, or like, what's the time schedule? And I was like, dang.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of your guys from your school
So they were trying to get
know
him
that I'm
set
in
up
town and
with
stuff
the,
like that.
with the interview.
What
of
if
the leader.
y'all and
Hold
y'all
up.
friends come by?
I think we were going to visit a lost tribe.
Let's go. Oh my.
I've never been
Also,
on
they-
this. I think we were going to visit a lost tribe.
Boy, you.
Hello,
You know
how
you
you
in the
doing?
backwoods.
I was trying to see if Mr. Rob was maybe here. I'm a YouTuber. My name's
Oh, he went to a
Chillin. I was
spot?
just wondering if like we could have like maybe like a little dialogue with Mr. Rob if he has any free time and stuff like that.
Right now, he's getting different stuff together for the conference that's coming up. So,
I heard about that. What can I ask what that conference is about?
faith and freedom.
I don't know if there's any way maybe I could come.
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh
Certainly not.
shit!
Feel
Especially
that.
wow.
Paranoia some people have.
I mean, we aren't anarchists. We just came here, it's America, We got the First Amendment, freedom of speech and everything like that.
Actually, I don't believe in that because if you have someone who can lose their job and their ability to support their family that they love, where they might have been brave enough to speak up, they won't put their children and their wife at risk.
So do you feel like here the truth is spoken?
I would say as much as can be.
From the videos I've seen online and stuff like that, I'm sure you've seen them,
So it's a funny thing he says that. Government are the ones who can't intervene when it comes to free speech. That is what that actually is in the Constitution. Government shall not. Didn't say anything about a business or anything else like that. People tend to forget that we live in a culture societally that, you know, we have, when I say freedoms, I use that term sometimes very limited. But we're supposed to have this abundance of freedoms and things like that. The problem is that a lot of people like to take those democratic freedoms and attempt to push them in such a manner that it becomes extreme idealism, extreme beliefs, things of that nature. And when it comes to actually saying that another individual is a lesser individual because of their skin color, their height, like, it's ridiculous to hate an entire group of individuals. If I were to turn around and say something about white people right now, it'd be fucking wrong. If I were to turn around and say something about, anyone, it'd be fucking wrong. Pure and simple. From the standpoint of ethics, from the standpoint of, humanity as a whole, we all have the right and ability to live. Plain and simple. Once we were born, that right was given. We will all die. We may not like it, but that's the way it is. And they are no different. A white person is no different than a black man. We're going to die at some point in time. Asian, Latins, we are going to die at some point in time. We are given limited time on this earth. What makes you superior to me by any means? If I punch you, I can destroy you, break your bones, kill you, in fact, in some cases, depending on how I do it, where I do it. If I cut you, you're going to bleed. Same thing's going to happen to me. All of these inevitabilities, all of these potentialities are all relevant on the same line. Yet 40K. Holy crap. But to sit there and say, let's get through this. Holy shit.
I was expecting to just step right foot into town and then call the N-word, but
if it would make you feel better, I'll try it for you.
Man.
He'd like to do so.
I just kept on hearing people, they were like, nah.
And this is again where I keep saying, when you are the lone individual, you tend to keep your mouth shut. You really do. And I've seen it even in my own personal situations. I've known numerous people who, at their core, absolute racists. Absolutely. 100%, without a doubt, looked at me and despised my guts, but couldn't say a fucking word in front of me. Wouldn't dare. Never. I've been in a grocery store once where I'm standing there, and if you're in a market and you're at the deli, things like that, typically they used to have like the number system. Well, now it's one of those things where you just walk up and the person who's behind the counter will help the first person that's there and then get over to the next person and go and go and go. I walk up and another guy walked up, a white gentleman walked up, and the guy comes up and says he was helping a woman. He finishes with her, comes to me, he's like, "Sir, how can I help you?" The guy over to my left, the white guy that was over to my left, literally goes, "Why the fuck are you helping him right now? His kind can wait." I look over, mind you, I am dressed up, like not dressed up my work gear, tie on, everything else. Tie got loose. I look over at him. I go, what kind do you mean? He looks at me, didn't know what to say because I don't know if he thought I wasn't going to say anything at all, but I pushed my cart slightly forward, walked over towards him about 3 steps forward, and said, what kind do you mean? I go, I was here before you. The way that things work, out in the real world is first come, first serve. Now, if you had some kind of, physical ailment or something along the lines of that, maybe I'd be kind enough to say, go right ahead. But that doesn't seem to be the case. You look about as healthy as I am, and we're probably in the same age group. In case you didn't know I look a lot younger than you do. But what kind did you mean? Oh, or were you talking about the fact that, oh, I'm black? Or were you saying something about the fact that, I'm part Asian or part Latin? Or, oh, you didn't know that. So maybe it's just a black thing. And it kind of shut him up on a level to where he didn't know what to do. And I said, but here's what I'm going to warn you. I'm very calm at this point in time, but had it been a different situation, you didn't know what type of day I was having, I could have walked over here and knocked you out. But instead, I'm going to go ahead and order my food. Do you have a problem with that? He didn't know how to react. There was nothing he could say. And of course, I got slightly belligerent in that situation because I was upset. And I've told you guys this before. I'm the type of individual, I tend to stay calm in all scenarios, but push me if you want to. I'm not the, oh my God, I'm so sorry. No, I'm the guy who's like, look, I was brought up. There are certain lines you don't cross with another man, plain and simple. And if you do cross those lines, you will suffer certain consequences. I've also seen it to where leaving from a place that I used to, when I used to work for Namco years and years ago, I have to go to different locations and check out different things with different stores, whatever, in malls. And I'm leaving the mall one day and I'm going to get in my car. This was years ago in Illinois, in fact. And as I'm leaving, I see like a group of 4 or 5 guys walking up, and I saw them holding something. I wasn't sure what it was initially. And then 2 other guys come walking out of the mall. They were Native American. And the next thing you hear is some of the most racist shit you will ever hear. And then I realized it was the guys were holding signs, and they were a part of the Ku Klux Klan out there. Essentially, they had like small pocket groups all over that mall location. But they were in a larger group than these 2 individuals. So of course they felt it was okay. It was their right to spew the type of hate that they wanted to spew. But I'm going to stop on that for a second. Hey. Haha wa Nihon Shin to Spainjin desu ga. Yeah, my mother was Spaniard and Japanese. My father was African American and Spaniard.
The racists aren't in Harrison, they're over in Zinc. And they were talking about how like they like kind of kicked you guys out of Harrison.
No white person, for the most part, moves to seek out diversity. They'll give lip service to it and move as far away as possible from it.
That's really fucked up to say. I mean, is he right on that though? Is it a lip service sort of thing? But the crazy thing about it is, for him to say that, he would have to then take a look at the masses of individuals who just don't give a damn. People think I joke when I say this. I have never really looked at somebody and been like, oh, white person, oh, Mexican person, oh shit, black person. It's never been that sort of thing. In fact, I meet someone, what I go off of is that moment of our conversation, the type of individual that they are. I like to believe, and you can call it naive if you want to, but I like to believe that people are a lot better than what we tend to be and what we believe we are at times. I tend to believe people are better and honestly want to be better. And a greater deal of times, the people that you come across really don't have it out for you in that manner of a racist situation. But then there's so many people who prove that wrong. Now, it's a lot less now than it was in prior times, but it still exists. And a lot of times, as he said, the lip service part of it. I've seen those individuals who hang out with black people, who hang out with other people of darker skin tone, different cultures, things like that, ethnicities. But then turn around when they're in a group of white friends that N-word this or that, like we all know that the Asian slur or the S word for the Hispanic, whatever. They come off with those things because they're in that group. And is it a mob mentality situation that makes them that way in order to fit in? I have legit had conversations with my closest friends, some of which who are black, some of which who are Mexican. And we'll have these discussions on the reality of how we get treated in certain scenarios. Me, out driving one night because I love to drive, just being out, music playing, on the road, pulled over by a cop who I watched as I'm driving, pulls up alongside me. I'm not speeding, nothing like that. I see him, don't think shit of it. He stays with me for a bit. And then I go and I take a turn. I come back around because where I was going, there was a spot that was actually open that I wanted to stop and get tacos at and then go on my merry way again. As I leave from there, what I didn't realize is that he had pulled up over across the street from me, waited there. In it's like a hotel complex, like in the parking lot or whatever. I go to leave again. He comes out, woo! And I'm like, okay. One cop comes up to my car. Another cop comes up to my car from the right side. Didn't realize there's now 2 cop cars out there. I'm like, what the fuck? So I guess they were just sitting out on that road. The guy comes up to my window, starts asking all these questions, like whatever. Here's license, registration, insurance, everything. There you go. You need me to pull up the insurance on the phone too so you can see it's still valid, whatever. He tries giving me some bullshit. But what he really asked that really pissed me off was when he goes, what are you doing driving out here this time of night? And me being me, I looked at him, I go, so now there's a fucking law against me driving at night? I go, I like to drive. I go out and I'll take night drives at times. Open up the sunroof. As you see, it's open. Get the fucking air in. I saw you driving next to me. You saw my windows were down. My tent isn't super dark in this specific car. What was I doing wrong? Well, well, it just seems suspicious that you're driving around and then you come back around in circle. I go, well, from where you pulled out, when I saw you, you saw that I had stopped to grab some food, but there's an issue with this. The other officer who's standing there, and I look over at him. Now, mind you, one's got his hand on his gun, which, look, when it comes down to it, I get it. At times, they walk up in that manner just in case some shit that happens. I mean, I've been trained in certain things and to understand their job. I understand their job. Let's just put it that way. The other one's kind of standing there and he goes, the other cop yet again, same thing. So, hey, do you have any drugs in your car? Any what? Excuse me? Do I look like I have drugs in my car? And are you seeing any signs of me being inebriated by any means, possibly under the influence of alcohol or marijuana or anything like that? Do you smell anything at all? Can I search your car? Honestly, nah, you can't. And I don't have to allow you to. But you know what? Just to prove a point here, and the other officer chimed in and goes, we don't have anything. Because my real thought was this: is there a real reason why you're stopping me? Did I speed at any moment? Did I make an illegal turn out? Did I not use my blinker? And I know how I drive. Even if I were driving fast, I know I would use my blinker. I'm not that stupid. But that time of night when I'm just in cruise mode, I'm not driving fast by any means. There's no traffic for me to have to keep up with. And we all know the law when it comes to driving on a road where traffic might be moving a little faster. You are supposed to keep up with the flow of traffic. That is actually in the law. But at this point in time, there's no traffic on the road. There's no one really on the road during this whole encounter, which seriously ended up being about a 20-minute encounter. I probably remember 2 cars going by. That's it. That's how dead of night it is. It's nice and bright on the road, whatever. He keeps going. The other cops pulls him off to the side. And I go, you know what? Hey, so we can get this over with. How about I go ahead and let you just check my whole entire car? I'll pop the trunk for you right now. But I'm going to watch you as you look in my car. One officer, the white officer who was next to my car initially, all right, you can do that. The other officer goes, sir, you don't have to do that. But if you feel the need to, I go, to get this over with, let's get it done. I get out of my car. I leave the door open. I open the center console. I left the glove compartment open because they didn't see me reach over to go and grab the glove compartment, because honestly, I could have got shot for reaching for my fucking glove compartment if that cop had still been standing there. Go back to the trunk. Click. Let it pop open. Nothing. The one cop literally, the Hispanic cop, comes up to my side and he goes, sir, I apologize for you having to deal with this. He's wrong in doing so. I don't know what the problem is or whatever, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take a look and then you can go. So he looks at my trunk, sees there's nothing there. There's a little compartment. I tell him, I'm like, there's a compartment. You pull that little clip up, the spare is right down there. Because that was the BMW that actually had a spare to it. My other one has run flats, so there's no spare compartment on it. He goes up to the front, no scent of anything. Sir, have a nice night. I look back at the other cop and I go, am I free to go? Can I walk away and turn my back on you right now? Because by this point, I'm irritated. And it might have been unnecessary, but it was one of those things that it pissed me off to no end. You go about your day, try and live your life, do the things that you know you're supposed to do. You work, you put in a great deal of work at times. You pay your fucking taxes, you pay your bills and your rent on time. You do everything that you can to be an upstanding citizen. And then on the personal side of it, you don't do people wrong. You don't treat people like shit. You're not a racist asshole. You're not, all of these different things. I mean, we all have our little things about us that we should understand, what you could do better on. But on the greater scale of it, I'm not out here murdering people. I'm not, abusing and beating children or women or like none of the crazy shit that we all get kind of like, triggered by to some extent. But then to be looked at as though you are all of those things all in one moment is a really fucked up feeling. And the honest to God truth of it, under different circumstances, I'd have been like, hey, you know what? We need to go ahead and handle this, you and me. Like, seriously, we need to handle this. I don't like it at all, but let's get through.
Gated communities spend their money.
Me personally, like I agree to a certain extent and stuff like that. As black people, we look out for each other. It's like people say black power, they look out for black businesses and stuff like that.
I'm not a segregationist. I'm a separationist.
A separationist.
And
only white countries
are expected to become melting pots of humanity. And that's my stance. I oppose white genocide.
I'm not here to change anybody's mind or nothing. Like I said,
What countries were strictly white countries? At any point in time, can anyone tell me this? Okay, if we go through history, all right, Africa. You can never say that Africa was 100% black. There were whites there by chance. But if we say that all of Africa was just strictly black, the white Europeans went down to Africa, whether it was to attempt to teach them, but then we all know what happened as well. They enslaved them. White Europeans came over to North America. North America was inhabited by natives. They took over. Any other place, Asian, Latin, so on and so forth. You want to be a separationist and you want to believe that that's the way that everything was meant to be. However, when we go historically, whites went and stepped foot into every single place that was possible. And now you're upset about the whole melting pot culture. The entire world is structured under that idea. If you want to know the one group of individuals who were shut off from nearly everyone for the longest point in history, that would be the Japanese. Water divided them from so many. The culture was greatly set up to maintain Japanese culture, ethnicity throughout the islands of Japan. There are very dark-skinned Japanese people who live in the northernmost islands of Japan. A lot of people don't know this. But Japanese people also like to travel. And they tended to travel to Europe and different places like that. Intermingling amongst the cultures was going to happen. But that is about the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard, because the fact of the matter is, it's not a matter of assimilation in the United States. If you want to talk about the whole melting pot structure, white people would have been the ones to be blamed for starting said structure. Now, what you have to realize is because of how the country was built, how it is structured, how its democracy runs, how its constitution is set up, that's what this country is supposed to be. So you fighting against a tide much greater than yourself, believing that you're right. And by the way, it wasn't just white Europeans, but Europeans of Latin descent came along to help create said country. And then you utilized African slaves to build it up, fight in a war to revolutionize it, amongst other things. But you can stand and say something as fucking belligerently ignorant as that? Okay.
That's
one thing I will say though. You know, I'll say that later.
I feel like the conversation should always be had, because I feel like for there to be improvement into the future, you have to hear something different than your own opinion.
I often get an assumption made about me, and they wonder if black people did something bad to me. Well, no. White people have done something bad to me, and I don't hate them either.
Yeah.
But it's never about that. It's I have a certain set of beliefs.
I wasn't expecting to come here and have like a civil, conversation like this, but I came here with the heart to come with that, and I appreciate you coming out with the heart to have that same conversation with us.
I had one question. So, is there anything you want to say to the people out there about Harrison, Arkansas, or Zinc Road?
I can't hear a thing he's saying. I never can hear him. His voice is extremely low.
Well, I sort of like that designation.
All right, we're gonna run with it.
Every time he's spoken.
He's fucking with it.
Most racist town in America. And I was wondering if there's any way like we could have a future conversation with maybe other members of your guys' church, or maybe I can even attend a church service.
No.
No.
It is a racial church.
You see,
Oh.
There you
That
go.
is an offshoot of Israeli identity.
Usually, some people that find
Bullshit.
themselves racial, they
All
don't
right,
like
hold on.
Jews.
Okay, so here's the
Yeah, I'm like
situation.
really nervous. Like I'm literally about to meet a mayor, but you know what?
Oh, he's going to meet the mayor. Okay, here's the situation. What I was going to say is this. Maybe, and I want to take things from, I've always been like this. I look at things from all perspectives. I've never been a closed-minded individual. But there are some things you don't get to fight against when we know them as the actual grounded, logical, reality of things. For them to say white power, to me, I look at it and I say, it wouldn't be such a bad thing. Or I'm sorry, not white power, white pride. For them to say white pride, I'm going to say that that can be looked at as not such a bad thing, except for the fact that it's been tied to that whole white power movement, to the whole idea that they are superior to other ethnicities or races, as we call it, that they deserve something better, or they are called on by a higher power because of being white. To have pride in who you are ethnicity wise, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But to spew it in such a manner of hatred is the problem. And it makes me wonder, do they understand that? Or are you so biased, so ignorant, so small minded that you can't look and say, holy shit, on a level, I am perpetrating hatred? Is that, am I wrong in saying that? Is it possible that you just don't see it at all? Conversations need to be had. I was asked the other day, a friend of mine, we were all just conversating about just different things, exes, date, all of those types of things. And they were like, what would be the most important thing to you with any girl that, if you ever decided to date another woman, get married, whatever? I say communication. Communication is probably one of the greatest things we have in this world when we interact and deal with one another. So Gideon's right when he said, excuse me, hold on. He's right when he said that there needs to be open dialogue about those things. The fact is, however, that most people don't have it within them to see another perspective. The only thing that they can see is what they've known. And when you're taught to be ignorant, it's very hard to escape the ignorance. A lot more people fall on their emotions over logic. It happens constantly. It happens in relationships. It happens in these types of situations. So communication is a huge, huge thing. And the fact is that what people really need to understand is there is right and there's wrong. Sometimes you have a blur of that line based on the scenario, but on the greater scale, there's right and there's wrong, whether you want to accept it or not. And the guidelines that we chose to live by, the laws we chose to live by, the way that we chose to treat one another, to live within the same, realm as one another, as far as our country, our neighborhood, our cities, our states, all of those different things. it's based on what was decided by individuals as a society. To spew hatred, especially in the sense of using religion to do so, is super fucked up. Because if you notice what he said, can I come to one of your services? What we preach here, all these different things. Yes, that's how the Ku Klux Klan actually gets to remain intact in the manner that they do. They are considered a religion. But hey, anybody can create a fucking religion. But I can almost bet you, if I created a religion that spewed some form of hatred, they would burn me at the fucking stake. Seriously. Let's keep it going.
Are you the mayor?
I am.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. What's your name?
I am Jerry Jackson.
Mr. Jackson. Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus Cousins.
I go by Jadeon.
What'd you expect?
Like you see the videos and stuff like that, you know, you expect racism and everything, but ever since I stepped foot on this land, like, I've been getting nothing but love.
I don't. You know, that video is one of the biggest lies that ever happened. They took advantage of a town that had that perception because of another lie.
No, and the goal was to come here and not try to antagonize, talking about, do you support Black Lives Matter? It was literally just to come here and just say, hello, how's your day going? We might have different viewpoints on religion.
The mayor just made a good point. The other video, it was constant negative. The only good thing that was shown in it was at the very end. And, you know, sometimes people just don't watch to the end, whatever. But that was for more so for the entertainment purposes of it, I guess I would say. You know how dramas create these huge scenarios that really, when you look at it on another scale, you're like, that could easily have been taken care of. Or when news promotes an idea constantly that really isn't as large as it is, but it spreads like wildfire, because most people, it's a fucked up thing to say, a great deal of people inside of themselves want to be angry at something. And so that's what that video did. And what he said was, it was a lie based on another lie, meaning, you know, the leader of the KKK being there and all the shit that he probably tried to pull in order to keep that town in that old mind state, whereas the town is growing and blossoming and more individuals are escaping those ideals.
Politics and everything like that. But at the end of the day, you and me, we bleed the same.
Absolutely.
We're both human beings, and I can honestly say everybody in this town has treated me like a human being.
You know, you might be doing something for us that we have been trying to find for 40 years. This is not going to be a prank? Or
No prank. I just got dressed up.
Okay, good.
The first thing I want to ask is, what do you think about that connotation of Harrison being the most racist town in America?
You know, it just boils my blood because I know the truth.
You know what's crazy? Since I got here, I feel like it was very evident. Like, everybody here that I've met, they made a distinction. They said it's not Harrison. They're all over at Zinc.
It's not Zinc either.
Okay.
They're not racist people. You have one family up there.
Oh.
He happens to live there.
Okay. Do you feel like these videos have hindered that? Like, have you seen people move?
No doubt. That video has just done us a lot of harm. Our office was just bombarded, and it just devastated Christine and I. She came in here crying one day because of the hate calls. And you know, the problem is, you know, the Robb families, they're going to move on sometime. But this video is going to be out there forever.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the problem right there, is that you are branding an entire group. I mean, it becomes that problem now. The exact thing that people want to fight against with the racist, you know, KKK family that lives in that city, and then, of course, the individuals who follow him, it doesn't look good, the way that people were pulling up on the white guy saying, hey, you N-word, like all these other things. It doesn't look good, but you are now branding everyone that's there essentially the same as a few individuals. And that sticks. But then you go on to, and I know how people get, especially when it comes to the online world, the shit people will say is out of control. You not even going racist. I'll come and kill your whole, whatever. I'm sure they were getting those types of hate emails or phone calls and everything else. But what you're doing is acting in the same manner that the people you're so disgusted with are acting in.
I'm not gonna lie, when I did come here and stuff like that, hearing that it's the most racist town in America, I was just, going on expecting it, like, the racism and stuff like that, making a video, like, oh man, this is what happened to me. But as I got here, I realized, I said, I cannot put that connotation on this town because I am not experiencing that, I got some looks and stuff like that, but I've not gotten anybody say anything. I've gotten a lot of
and
love.
That's the thing.
People.
A lot of
I had
people
actually
won't say a thing.
fan invite me over to his house for family dinner. We weren't able to make it, but
you can come to my house tonight and spend the night.
Oh man, I wish we could, but we gotta fly out. But
what's your last name? Maybe we can.
Adams.
This will be Adams, Arkansas.
I don't know about all that. I'll be cool, but.
No, I mean really, we need help. We need something, and you've got a reach that we don't have. God, you could do this for us.
I have to ask, with the the white pride radio sign, how come, especially with you being the mayor, like maybe like why wouldn't you be able to take that down?
I am so glad you asked. They put 4 of them up. When the first one went up, it was worse. I had a personal campaign to get that taken down, and I was able to do that. This last one is on his property. Legally, we can't do anything.
Yes, there's nothing they can do about
Mr. Mayor, man, I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome, sir. You're a pretty cool guy. I didn't know that.
But the thing is,
I try my best, but not as cool as you, though.
When you are inciting,
that's what I'm
saying. You got the mayor right here. You guys don't want a picture.
Creating hate. There is certain steps that can be taken against that. So. I like what Gideon did in this video. Like this is honestly the first video I've watched of his. Like I said, I knew of the situation with he and I forget her name, Pokey again. And I mean, in watching the sequence of events that led up to that, like I watched the little clips of what he said and everything else. He didn't deserve to get banned over that. From what I know of him, he is the type of individual who does like to spark emotions or outrage in people or prank them, different stuff like that. And this right here, I think, is something that really did need to be done. There was another video that we're not going to watch, but it was a group of Asian kids who went to, they were Chinese, in fact. They went to this town as well. And I know that in their video, they kind of came out with the same sort of situation where, yeah, it was kind of awkward and a lot of people kind of shunned away from them and everything else. The worst was them being in the Walmart, especially considering their video, I think, was done during COVID and everything else. But the white people are walking around Walmart, no mask on. And they kept getting told, the group of Chinese guys, they kept getting told, put your masks on. There was a guy that was behind them that was mocking them throughout the stores as I watched through the little bits and pieces of it. But all in all, they came out with the same sort of situation. They didn't get to talk to the mayor or anything like that. But it was a thing where it wasn't everyone. And then there was one old lady, and this is the thing. When it comes to the gap in age, decades between so on and so forth, this one lady, she was a very elderly lady. the way she said it though, and it even made them feel very awkward, especially the one guy that she was, more so directing it towards. My niece loves Chinamen. Shit like that. That is a very uncomfortable situation to be in, especially like got close and she like put her hand around him and she just kept saying it and not understanding that it was at one point very derogatory in a sense to use that terminology. So it is. I don't think I'm going to watch anything else after this. The idea was to watch this and then probably hop into the server. But I just got, my phone, I had to turn it down. I keep getting messages and one of them's from a client. So I'm going to have to do some work. But all in all, like I said, on this, I hope you guys, if you didn't get to watch this whole stream, if you want, you can watch it on YouTube. It will replay tonight when I do the rerun after I stream again later on. But please, this for anyone watching this, the greatest thing you can do in understanding one another is to conversate. But during said conversation, this is one of the things I've always believed, even growing up. Shut the fuck up and listen. Listen more than you speak, because when you listen and you truly hear, you tend to take things and look at it and analyze it and understand where another individual comes from. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like them. You don't have to like their ideals, their way of life, anything else. But listen and hear and go ahead and take it and say, you know what? All right. Either I agree with it, I can understand them, or I just don't agree with it. And give your rebuttal at that point in time. But during said conversation, understand it doesn't have to become an argument. It's one of the greatest flaws that people have in their relationships. When you have conversations, and those conversations can be extremely, important and very, very serious, life-changing, whatever the case may be. One individual, a greater deal of time, will take that conversation and what's being said to them as a negative or that it's argumentative. Whereas instead, all you're trying to do is have a conversation and get through it and either come out of the other side understanding one another, or at the very least, come out with a better understanding of their point of view and who you are as related to their point of view. I would love to go ahead and get some gaming in right now, but it's going to have to wait until later. I'm going to have to go ahead and get some things done. Thank you all for watching. If you watch this on YouTube, go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe. Have you ever dealt with anything like this before? Have you ever been in a situation that might have been racially fueled, or ever been put in a predicament where you were just completely I don't know, I guess you were completely, oops, I just turned that up way too loud. You just completely felt out of place because of what was being said around you. I know that a lot of times people get roped into a lot of peer pressure or wanting to fit in and things like that. So it's not to give them an excuse, but it's how they try to fit in. It's wrong either way. But anyway, if you're here on Twitch, go ahead and please feel free to give a follow. Let's see, that was earlier today, Life or No Life. Thanks a lot for the follow if you see this or if you're watching right now. But hey, I will be back later on. But as you guys know, it's got to go this way. It's been real. It's been fun. I'm Michelle Bullet 8. I got to get back to work. So for now, I'm out.